Everyone, it's Aurora and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Hi, I'm going to just jump into it this week because I'm really excited. I'm actually going to be doing how I'm going to stay organized as a writer and a content creator in 2026. So, first and foremost, I will be setting my goals. I'm also going to pick a word of the year. I did that this year and it was creativity, and I actually had one of my most creative years yet, which has been fantastic. My word for 2026 is going to be resilience, because everything I tried to do this year that was quite big tended to go wrong, from my moving that never happened, my week off, my holiday that never happened. Every time I tried to do something this year, it kind of went a bit awry. So next year, I've got a lot on my plate with being self-employed. It's going to be my full year of self-employment, and I'm going to be moving and lots going on, and I think resilience will be necessary. So my next thing is I'm going to be setting my goals. So goals, I think, are really important, especially if you're self-employed or if you are trying to push yourself to do something different. Whether it be writing a novel, exercising, whatever, goals help us keep sight of what we want to be doing. So anyway, right. How I set my goals personally, I try and keep it to a small amount, because the more you do, the more likely you are to fail. Because the reality is, as soon as one falls by the wayside and you stop doing something, you think, oh, I'm crap at this. There's no point in trying. And then you just stop, and then you never achieve anything. And I think we've all been guilty of that at some point. So my goals for next year are, I want to finish the second draft of my Beauty and the Beast story. I want to write the first draft of my Cornish romance. And I want to upload a video every week to my various content creator places. I don't just use YouTube because I don't get paid on YouTube, because I am a very small account. Anyway, hopefully that will change. Fingers crossed, this is going to be the year I get more followers and I can start doing things like, AdSense or whatever it is. So yeah, fingers crossed on that. So those are my goals. Upload every week. I'm clear on that. There's no wiggle room. Write the first draft of a novel. I do that every year for NaNoWriMo anyway. That shouldn't be an issue. And I've given myself a whole year to do it, which is a bit lethal, but I could end up just going, oh, I'll start next week. But I'm pretty good for these sort of things. I won't. And getting my Beauty and the Beast romance finished, I'm actually setting a goal that I want to get it done by the spring. And what I will also do then is every first of the month, I will sit and write 3 goals that will help me towards that. So I've been doing that lately, and it's usually something like, try and get ahead on my filming schedule. I have started to do that. Write for half an hour a day, if I can, get a bit of wiggle room on that, because if I'm somewhere where I can't write, then, I'm somewhere where I can't write. And yeah, it's little things like that. And then that gets broken down by daily goals. Again, I set 3, and they are, 3 things I absolutely have to do that day. And they can vary. They can be self-care, they can be work-based, they can just be stuff I know I need to do. And, they all go towards helping achieve those yearly goals. I know some people do it in quarterly thing, but I find I forget if I do it quarterly, whereas monthly, it's kind of staring me in the face. It's a lot easier for me to keep on top of it. So this is what works for me. I know it's not the most popular way. A lot of people tried monthly and didn't like it, and they prefer quarterly. But yeah, it's finding what works for you, and there is never a one size fits all. The 3 goals I make every day, they are also, 3 goals is great because you can do 3 things a day. No matter how busy you are, you can find time to do 3 little jobs. And I do suffer with low energy. I got really ill a few years ago, and my energy levels have just been through the floor ever since. I do try and exercise and I eat healthily, things I can do to help with that, but there's only so much you can do. I am nearly 40. It was a very nasty long-term illness. So, I have to work with what I have. And 3 little jobs a day I can work with. So How am I staying organised? It is this glorious little pink stack here, and oh god, it is such a pink stack. I have this is, if you saw one of my other planner videos, this is actually my Saffiano fell apart, and I just put everything into, including all the clips and stuff, into this little guy. This will go everywhere I go, and it is really just a writer's notebook. If I get an idea, it goes in. There's not really that much to see. And then I have my Filofax Fluoro Original, which I have had for absolutely years, and I am now using that as my daily planner. And originally it was just going to be those, and of course I do my morning pages and have a notebook for that, which I wasn't going to show just because it's just a plain notebook. It's not very exciting. And this is slowly becoming my series Bible. It's again a Filofax original. I can't remember, I think it's like raspberry, but I've had this for so long. And again, I got this secondhand. I got both my Filofaxes secondhand, so they were pretty cheap for what I got. So yeah, that's quick look at them. Let's move this all around and open them up and have a look inside. Okay, so first up, it's just my writing notebook, and while it is a ringed planner, essentially, it is just a glorified notebook. I don't really keep anything in here that is particularly exciting. It is mostly just lined paper, and I have got some dividers and stuff. They were from, I want to say, Little Noah's Ark on Etsy, because that's where most of my dividers tend to come from. And that was from the London Anime Convention. Everything else is just so old, I don't remember. I think my stickers were Etsy, and that might have been again London Anime Convention. There really is nothing special about it. I have got some cute come here. I have got my very cute sticky notes at the back. And again, I think they were from Little Noah's Ark. I got a blind box from her. She does really cool stuff. I really recommend her stuff. All her planner stuff. And she does a lot of really nice stickers too. So this one's more exciting. This is what I'm going to be using to keep organized. Just in general, it's got everything going in here. So as you can see, I've got my monthly and then I've got my dailies. Film 2 YouTube videos. I'm doing that now. Pick up planner bits. I did have to get some stuff. That's already done. And I didn't schedule my videos. As I say, I do keep them really, really simple. And these pens are from Flying Tiger. They are fine. I mean, they're not the best I've had, but I absolutely love these. You can see they're a really nice bright pink, and they're now refillable, which I love because it saves money and it saves on plastics. I'm not buying the whole pen every time. So yeah, I've just got some cute little bits in here that I found in a card shop years ago, and I've just kept it in pretty much every planner I've had. Let's see. Romance Girly. This does say Reality Call, but I hung up. My romance bit's fallen down again. But yeah, and I actually made that one. I had the little sweet thing, and I just stuck it onto a cheap paper clip. I'm going to avoid showing some of this just because I have got a lot of private information, but these are my month on 2 pages. They are not great because, as you might be able to see, they start on a Thursday for some unbeknown reason, and then I've got the notes in the middle, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're not very clear. I just write over that bit in a black pen, and it's not a problem. They were really cheap, so frustrating as it is, it's not the end of the world. And I will use this for a glance at things I've got coming up, whether I'm going down to my partner's, whether he's coming up here, because obviously that changes what I'm getting up to. And I keep a track of my money coming in as well. So every time I make a bit of cash, I just know the day and where it came from. And yeah, that's working so far. I don't know if that's going to change, but yeah. Then past that, I'm going to skip to the last week just because I've got notes. You can see this is just a printout I've had floating around for ages. I do need to get my new diary inserts. I am getting some new ones for Christmas. They will be again a week on 1 page, but I'm going to have a blank page on the other side just so I've got space for notes and stuff. And that might be where I start putting money as it comes in, hopefully as I'm making a bit more money and I don't have the space in my monthly. So next up is just some to-do lists. I've not got a hell of a lot really going on at the moment, so I am on top of my to-do list, and yeah, it's my next thing is just lists. I've got date ideas, I've got future video ideas. If it doesn't really belong in the like stuff to do, like the big long to-do list, this is where it will go. I'm not the biggest list girly. I am trying to be better organized. So as you can see, with my horde of date ideas, it's going well. So my cute little paperclip again, and this as well. This was my little journaling card. That was from Etsy. I cannot remember where. So this is just labeled as content, and again, it is empty. I don't actually find myself using it that much, and I might switch it to something else. I'm not sure what yet. It's the nice thing about a ringed planner like a Filofax is that if it's not working out, you just take it out and replace it with something that does. And my last one is books. Now, I have been using this, not as much as I would like, because I do read out and about, and I don't always take this with me. But I have actually been using it to make notes when I'm reading, which helps me with my reviews when I write the script for those, because I can actually remember everything, because I've not got the best memory. And then just some plain sticky notes in my little back pocket, just because they are always useful. My whole life revolves around sticky notes. Okay, and for my last one, this isn't going to be the most exciting thing to look at because I am still kind of putting it together and working on it, but I just wanted to show it off anyway, and it is my writing notebook. This is my series Bible, so it has a long way to go. It's for my Cornish romance, which I already have the next 2 books slightly planned in my head, and the first one is more or less ready to be written. So I did manage to find some lined A5 paper, which was great. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed the holes that are there do not match up with the rings. So I'm just putting extra holes in. It's frustrating, but it was 90p for this pad in Sainsbury's, so I ain't going to complain that loud. So again, I think the dividers were Little Noah's Ark. I cannot remember where my jellyfish is from because, again, it's one I've had for years. Most of my planner stuff is fairly old. So I'm going to skip this section just because it is the whole outline of my first draft. It is every chapter on a post-it note. I have talked about this before. That is how I plan because I can move everything around. And it's been a good way to use up papers that I wouldn't obviously use, like the contact sheets. I don't really keep my contacts in a planner. The only thing I actually use my phone for. My next section, again, it's just lined paper and it is going to be where I put my character descriptions. Just a little brief overview. And again, I've had this paper for years. It was originally like Paper Chase, who aren't even going anymore. So that gives you an idea of how old my planner stuff is. And my next section is, again, it's just plain lined paper. This is Filofax paper, which I think for its price is actually pretty poor quality. It's really thin. And I will be just putting the outline of the whole book. I put it on one page. You can slightly see the ghosting here where I've done it for this, the first book. I need to do it for the second and third book. I have a lot of the second book planned out in my head now, and I am starting to get an idea for the third. So my next thing is, again, it's like lists. I've got like all the businesses I need to come up with names for. I have a very bad map. I am not as you see, I'm also not that great at map making or punching holes in paper. But that's actually all I've got. I haven't found a use for the back 2 sections yet. I do have a bit of paper here, and it is actually a list of tropes. So if I want to, at some point, like, go through a list of tropes and go, hey, I could throw this into the book, I could throw that into the book. If I'm sort of scrambling for ideas, thankfully I haven't needed to use that yet. And yeah, that is my planner setup for 2026. It will change, it will grow, it will shrink in times, at times. But that is kind of what I'm working with so far for next year. So thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you've enjoyed this video. Maybe leave a comment down below. And, you know, if you are not subscribed, maybe even consider it. I am a very small channel. And yeah, the subscribers really, really help me to keep this going and keep the lights on and to keep making videos. And I will see you next week for another book review. Take care, guys. Bye.